Sunshine 1979. So, since we have a lot of these cases that we go over that use cadaver dogs, I wanted to go ahead and do a informational video on cadaver dogs, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Curious about cadaver dogs? Like other dogs with jobs, cadaver dogs are specially trained to serve a very important role in society. And while their job itself might not be a pretty one, cadaver dogs play a crucial part in resolving many missing or deceased persons cases, often serving as the missing link that provides closure and justice to grieving families. Here's what to know about this oft misunderstood type of working dog, including what they're trained to do and why dogs in particular are so well suited to this type of task. What are cadaver dogs? Cadaver dogs are dogs who are trained to pick up the scent of human remains, which is why you'll sometimes see them referred to as human remains detection dogs. Their work may seem similar to search and rescue dogs, but cadaver dogs play a distinctly different role. While the former is trained to pick up the general scent of humans, cadaver dogs specialize in detecting decomposing flesh. A trained cadaver dog is 95% effective at picking up the scents of human decomposition, including bodies that are buried up to 15 feet deep. Law enforcement groups rely on cadaver dogs to help solve crimes where a dead body is suspected. Not only does this provide more evidence that can be used in court, it can also provide much-needed closure in cases where a missing person is assumed dead but not definitively so. Cadaver dogs are often used in conjunction with search and rescue dogs, since that allows humans to be found both alive or dead. Training for cadaver dogs includes trailing. This is a skill that allows dogs to pick up on scents that have fallen on the ground, such as instances in which a body was dragged. Air scenting, a skill for picking up scents in the air, which includes smelling decomposing remains in the air and following the scent to its source. Cadaver dogs are trained in certified training facilities, where special chemicals are used to mimic the scents of decomposing human flesh before the dog moves on to training with real body parts. Each dog receives about 1,000 hours of training before they are ready to work in the field, making them a highly valuable investment for law enforcement and other types of search groups. Why are dogs so good at finding cadavers? We may never understand the full power of the canine nose, but we do know that it is immensely capable at finding and distinguishing between scents, including those that our human noses would never be able to source on their own. Dogs have roughly 200 million olfactory receptors in their nose, making their sense of smell about 40 times greater than that of the average human. This allows them to sniff out everything from bombs, drugs, and living and dead human flesh to certain diseases. They can even smell emotions. The use of dogs to find human remains is nothing new. According to a paper in the Journal of Archaeological Method and Theory, dogs have been helping to track down dead bodies since around 700 BC, and over the many centuries since, they've shown a remarkable ability to recognize the scent of decomposing flesh, regardless of whether it's hours old or decades old. Worth mentioning is that not all dogs' noses have an equal sense of smell. German Shepherds, which are a common breed of cadaver dog, boast about 225 million olfactory receptors, while dachshunds have closer to 125 million. And the more receptors the dog has, the better suited they are to the tricky task of finding human remains. Other interesting facts about cadaver dogs. There's a whole lot to be impressed about when it comes to cadaver dogs. And just in case you are not already in awe of these extraordinary canines, here are some additional facts about cadaver dogs that are worth knowing about. Cadaver dogs are able to tell the difference between human remains and animal remains, which means they'll know right away if the scent they're picking up is from a person or from decomposing wildlife. Because they're trained to pick up scents both on the ground and in the air, cadaver dogs can identify crime scenes even if the body has since been moved. Depending on the circumstances, they may also be able to lead search teams to where the body was relocated to. Cadaver dogs work tirelessly both in training and in the field. Altogether, they can identify hundreds of different scents related to decomposition, versus the handful of scents a drug or bomb-sniffing dog might be trained to sniff out. During training, cadaver dogs learn to differentiate between types of decomposing flesh, including recently dead victims, long dead victims, and drowned victims. A cadaver or corpse is a dead human body that is used by medical students, physicians, and other scientists to study anatomy, identify disease sites, determine causes of death, and provide tissue to repair a defect in a living human being. Students in medical school study and dissect cadavers as a part of their education. Others who study cadavers include archaeologists and arts students. The term cadaver is used in courts of law to refer to a dead body, as well as by recovery teams searching for bodies in natural disasters. The word comes from the Latin word cadere to fall. Related terms include cadaverous, resembling a cadaver, and cadaveric spasm, a muscle spasm causing a dead body to twitch or jerk. A cadaver graft, also called post-mortem graft, is the grafting of tissue from a dead body onto a living human to repair a defect or disfigurement. Cadavers can be observed for their stages of decomposition, helping to determine how long a body has been dead. Cadavers have been used in art to depict the human body in paintings and drawings more accurately. Stages of decomposition. The first stage is autolysis, more commonly known as self-digestion, during which the body's cells are destroyed through the action of their own digestive enzymes. However, these enzymes are released into the cells because of active processes ceasing in the cells, not as an active process. In other words, though autolysis resembles the active process of digestion of nutrients by live cells, the dead cells are not actively digesting themselves, as is often claimed in popular literature and as the synonym of autolysis, self-digestion, seems to imply. As a result of autolysis, liquid is created that seeps between the layers of skin and results in peeling of the skin. During this stage, flies, when present, begin to lay eggs in the openings of the body, eyes, nostrils, mouth, ears, open wounds, and other orifices. Hatched larvae, maggots, of blowflies subsequently get under the skin and begin to consume the body. The second stage of decomposition is bloating. Bacteria in the gut begins to break down the tissues of the body, releasing gas that accumulates in the intestines, which becomes trapped because of the early collapse of the small intestine. This bloating occurs largely in the abdomen, and sometimes in the mouth, tongue, and genitals. This usually happens around the second week of decomposition. Gas accumulation and bloating will continue until the body is decomposed sufficiently for the gas to escape. The third stage is putrefaction. It is the final and longest stage. Putrefaction is where the larger structures of the body break down, and tissues liquefy. The digestive organs, brain, and lungs are the first to disintegrate. Under normal conditions, the organs are unidentifiable after 3 weeks. The muscles may be eaten by bacteria or devoured by animals. Eventually, sometimes after several years, all that remains is the skeleton. In acid-rich soils, the skeleton will eventually dissolve into its base chemicals. The rate of decomposition depends on many factors, including temperature and the environment. The warmer and more humid the environment, the faster the body is broken down. The presence of carrion-consuming animals will also result in exposure of the skeleton as they consume parts of the decomposing body.
Okay, guys, so I thought it was important to include a cadaver, the definition behind cadaver, and a little bit of background on what cadavers are used for in medical science and the different terminologies. As always, guys, Sunshine 1979, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. Be a voice. If you see something, say something.